In this part, we'll be discussing about fertilization. As we all know, the pollen tube has entered the female gametophyte. This pollen tube usually contains the male gametes. Now it's a time to rupturing of the pollen tube. When the rupturing occurs, it is going to release these male gametes. These male gametes are going to fuse with the female gamete, leading to formation of what is called as a zygote. Another peculiar characteristic of the gymnosperm is that they are going to form polyembryos or polyembryony. It is nothing but two different male gametes may fuse with two or more female gametes when they are present in a close proximity to the pollen tube, leading to formation of the polyembryony. Now it's a time to discuss the different stages involved after fertilization. Now the zygote is formed. Zygote is going to divide into two cells. It is going to divide into two cells. The upper one is called as a primary suspensor cell or primary suspensor tube, and the lower one, it is going to divide, leading to formation of a quadrant stage. This quadrant is going to divide further, leading to formation of octant. Octant leads to formation of a multi-celled condition. Now upper this primary cell is going to divide and redivide, leading to formation of this secondary suspensor region. So primary suspensor tube or primary suspensor region is going to divide and form a secondary suspensor region, whereas the lower one is a multi-celled condition. This multi-celled condition or multi-celled stage forms what is called as an embryonal mass, which is going to further develop into embryo in future. Now what is the role of this suspensor? The role of this suspensor is to push. This is the embryonal mass which is going to develop into embryo in future. The role of this primary and secondary suspensor is to push this embryo where into the endosperm in order to drag the nutrients. Now during the development of the embryo, on its lateral side we can see a hump-like structure here. This hump-like structure is called as a feeder. Again, the role of the feeder is to absorb the nutrient in order to support the developing embryo. On either side of this feeder, we have the structures. This is a feeder now, enlarged one. On either side, we have structures like a cotyledon, two cotyledons followed by a plumule. Plumule is going to form a stem in future. We have radicle. Radicle further forms the root. This structure is similar to what we see dicote of the embryo of the dicote. And this first the root is going to develop. Further on at the right angle to the cotyledons, leaves, young leaves are going to develop. Feeder is going to persist. How long the feeder will persist? Feeder is going to persist until 2 to 3 pairs of leaves are developed. Until 2 to 3 pairs of leaves are developed, feeder will be there. After that, feeder is going to disorganize. Reason behind is when the leaves are developed 2 to 3 pairs, they have the capacity to undergo photosynthesis process. Now, netum seed. So it is going to form a seed. Netum seed are oval, green. They are going to turn red when they are mature enough. These seed have got 3 different layers: outer, inner, and the middle one. Outer and inner are fleshy in nature, whereas the middle is stony. After maturation, these seeds are going to separate from their plants and they remain dormant for years. When they are going to germinate, first, as we discussed, first they are going to form the root, followed by at right angle to the cotyledons, leaves are going to develop, and feeder is going to persist until 2 to 3 pairs of leaves are developed. In this way, development of the netum takes place. So this was a brief description regarding the life cycle of netum. Thank you.